Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again on behalf of Ambassadors of Mediation and Madhyam International Council for Dispute Resolution to the series Agree to Disagree, to our guest of honor, the participants, and our viewers of Madhyam TV. Today is the sixth episode in the series of table debate with the topic Community Mediation is a fact or fiction? Who could have been the most apt and the best guest of honor than our very own Miss Giribala Singh? Presently, ma'am is in the cadre of Principal District Judge. She has presided over various courts, including Anti-Dacoity, Prevention of Corruption Act, NDPS Act, and District and Sessions Judge Betul. She has served on deputation in the capacity of Registrar Judicial in the High Court of Madhya Pradesh and Secretary for Monitoring Implementation of JJ Act Registrar NLIU. Currently, she is the member secretary in the Madhya Pradesh State Legal Services Authority. She has initiated the community mediation program in Madhya Pradesh with the approval of the patron in chief and has extended training to over 106 volunteers from 7 communities, and 15 community mediation clinics have been inaugurated under her guidance so far. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to our participants for today evening. They are all well established lawyers and trained mediators in their respective cities, barring one of our special guests. Thanks again to all the viewers of Madhyam TV. We promise to keep bringing more of such thought provoking programs for you in the future too. For the new viewers, a quick recap of the program. There are 2 teams with 2 participants in each team who will be tabling their viewpoint on the motion before the House in a span of around 3 minutes. There will be a warning bell at 2 minutes and another at 3 minutes. Thereafter, the floor will be taken over by our guest of honor, Ms. Giribala Singh, who, after the viewers of the participants, will randomly ask a question each to the participants and maybe a follow up question if required in her discretion. The teams in reverse order will get a chance to give a rebuttal to the opposite team as and when called for by ma'am. And in the end, our guest of honor will summarize the debate. Let me introduce the teams to the topic Community Mediation is a fact or fiction. Team A for the motion. Dr. Rashmi is our special guest, who is a mediator but not a lawyer. She is an entrepreneur, educator, mediator, and trustee of a number of societies and belongs to the state of Jharkhand. Mr. Shrilal Warrior, her teammate, was called to the bar in the 1989 year, and he is primarily based in the state of Kerala and a standing counsel there. He received his training in mediation in 2004 from UK and then in 2009 from the MCPC Supreme Court of India. Team B, against the motion, who feel that community mediation at the moment is a fiction, is comprised of Mrs. Varuna Bhandari. She was called to the bar in 1990. She's based out of New Delhi and is today the proprietor of Bhandari and Associates. She is fellow of International Academy of Mediators, trainer with MCPC. She is joined in her team with Mr. Sharad Kapoor, a trained mediator with Samadhan, Delhi High Court Mediation and Conciliation Center, and has also done training from MCIR UK. He is the standing counsel for the Steel Authority of India in the Delhi High Court, New Delhi. Welcome to all, and let's begin the program for the day. Over to you, ma'am. Giribala Singh, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Indeed, it's an honor to be the guest of honor for such a wonderful venture and on a topic which is very close to our heart, and it's one of the subjects which is making people think around, especially with the mounting cases both within and outside the courts. Indeed, it's a privilege to be here with Team Madhyam and the ambassadors of mediation. And we have an erudite team of persons for and against. I understand, Dr. Rashmi, would you like to put forward your views on for the motion?
Yes. Yes. Yes, for the motion.
Yes,
Dr.
please.
Rashmi.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
Rashmi, ma'am.
Rashmi. Yes, I'm Rashmi. I support mediation at the community level. It is extremely effective at the ground level. We already have mediation, arbitration in the form of ADR. But despite this already existing provision, they are not commonly used in the tribal regions, making it difficult to achieve our goal of justice for all. I'm aware that in most of the rural areas, especially in the Jharkhand, violence occurs over very petty issues. For example, people often get violent over minor family matters, domestic violence, infertility, theft, business, unpaid land debts, and minor religious issues. They have their own cultural rules and regulations for marriage, birth, separation, etc. Generally, they don't want to take matters to the court as they don't want to follow the rules of the court. They try to mediate disputes within their society as they only have faith on their own elders. In Jharkhand itself, 32 types of tribal communities live together. Some live in the deep forest, whereas some belong to the more affluent tiers of the society. However, when we talk about culture, customs, and practices, they are more or less the same, regardless of people being Sarna, Hindu, or Christian. Keeping these cultural issues in mind that are inherent to these communities, we need to establish CMC at the grassroots level to enable acceptance. Only then will we be able to provide justice to all. It is high time we think of making changes at grassroots level to reach these underserved people of India. CMC have the potential to change society by resolving disputes at the most basic level. Before planning or organized community mediation center, we should keep few points in our mind. We can start by forming a group of mediators, which can include few locals who are well aware by the dynamics of the villages, neutral and trustworthy people of their society, especially teachers or elders, so that people can approach them easily. If needed, we can make local people trained by giving training time to time. If community mediator fails at their level, they can take interested parties to the higher level, that is court-organized mediation. Then we have qualified mediators at grassroots level. Community mediation can communicate with the court-organized mediators as well as parties to and act as liaison person. This can be changed their nature and process of justice at lower level, which is the main motive of the judiciary. But at last, we should not forget the principles of the mediation at any point. So this is my point. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now invite Advocate Srilal Warrior on the topic for the motion, mediation, community mediation, fact or fiction.
Thank you, ma'am. I certainly would say that community mediation is a fact and none can deny it except for reasons of their ignorance of the existence of that. Why I say this is because it is a need for many, though for others it may look a little irrelevant or even suspicious. For example, community mediation occurs and have been successful to a great extent of generating peace within our society. If I rightly understand, a community conflict would certainly be between two members of the community with a very close circle and the community doesn't want this to go out. One. Secondly, it could be members versus members within the community and the community fears that there could be an issue within that close community. Third, certainly it could be one faction versus another faction. Again, it gives a little bit of apprehension to the community leaders or the community by itself. Now, it could also be between one community versus another community. It could also be a community versus a third party who raises some kind of a threat as against the existence of the community. So in all these cases, the community gets that kind of an apprehension that there is a threat that which comes to it. Now, if it is within the community level, then that is the members level, then the community wants these to be resolved at its own level. And generally, these people, when it is a close community, doesn't want third-party strangers coming into it. When it comes to members and members, when I said the first class of people, that is one member vis-a-vis the other member, one member vis-a-vis the community, they would like to not disclose these kind of disputes to the public. That's one. It could also be a political party versus a political party. It could also be, we have seen factions within a political party creating issues for the political leadership, which means even these communities, political communities other than the social communities, they also have the kind of a fear whereby they try to confine the dispute and the resolution to within themselves. So these are places where they bring in people of their own, and they would have inbuilt leaders or inbuilt mediators, whatever style they follow, they certainly have this. Now, when it comes to Kerala, there are lots of religious issues where the religious community having several factions and they fight for each other, and the community don't want the other communities to know about this, so they again have internal mediators. How do we manage this? The technique that we have followed is, when they are trying to resolve it by mediation, the best of the mediation should certainly be followed, the practices, which means people who normally are chosen to be mediators, either they are qualified or unqualified, we basically try to bring in some kind of an awareness and a training to these people so that these do not come out. The courts don't even know. The others don't even come to know. So it certainly exists for the reasons that they need it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That does one round for Team A. May I now request Sharad Kapoor, sir, from Team B to put across his views on the topic?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me over to the Madhyam's 6th episode of this debate. And I am against the motion that community mediation is a fiction, is a fiction, sorry. And for that, I will firstly start that community mediation is a rhetoric to the neutrality aspect of mediation, which is one of the major pillars of mediation. And this is where community mediation becomes a fiction. When you talk about neutrality, there are two communities who are coming from different cultures, and the mindsets of those communities are such that you have the intentions to resolve, but there are no positions which either of the parties are ready and willing to compromise so that they can come to a negotiation. The negotiations also at times become so difficult in CMCs that the parties just do not want to move from their positions. And it's not because the reality allows them not to, but it's because it's fiction. They don't believe in it. They just don't want to believe in it. They feel that their community and their decisions and what they do as customs is something which is absolutely necessary, and that does not allow them to take any decisions. Now, one of the other aspects which in community mediations is again a fiction is that mediation is very important by what persons who attend to it. In community mediations, the attendees are absolutely powerless. The leaders do not come forward for all vested reasons, and the attendees are not empowered enough to come forth and take the decisions. The negotiations are compromised, the mediations fail, the exercises become redundant, and ultimately the process for the court increases. And in fact, litigations at times when they reach the courts after the mediation process become more adverse. With this, I feel that mediation in communities is not a reality, but it's just a mere fiction in the current times. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was a different thought process. May I now invite Varuna Madam from Team B again to express her views.
Thank you, Giribala ma'am. I also support that mediation, community mediation is a fiction. It is far from reality. For the reason, number one, the scope of community mediation is very limited to civil disputes. That is neighborhood, landlord, tenant, land, property division, family, small money disputes, etc. Community mediation is antithesis of the principles of mediation. Like just now, Sharat sir spoke about neutrality. When a person who is in the community, they are influenced by their culture, their customs, their religion, and their caste and their communities. So when a person is put as a mediator, they have no option. The parties have no option but to join. The confidence of the parties is not as good as they are there by choice. So the first thing is the neutrality of the mediator is compromised. Then confidence of the parties is not there, and the voluntariness of participation is missing in a big way. So secondly, the final resolution may not give, will give a way to a bigger issue. If if I give an example here of a Khamp Panchayat, where if there are two communities, they have come together and they have decided to get their children married, and when they, with the consent, go back into their own communities, they are not accepted. They are debarred from being there, or there is honor killing. So it may give rise to a bigger issue. People have a mindset of having faith in the court process. See, we are used to having a court decree for finalization of our rights, and it's been from time immemorial. So we are always looking something to support our settlements. Implementations of our settlement is again a very big difficulty, as we are looking at some kind of law which should be supporting the settlement. So I feel that community mediation is a fiction and it is far from reality. We need to work a lot on it, but it has a very good future if it is worked upon, and there are awareness programs. I think it can have a better future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You added a lot of weight to what Sharat sir has to say. Now I'd like to pose a question to Mr. Srilal Warrior from Team A. Sir, how do you feel community mediation could have any kind of a result or any kind of effect on docket explosion or docket exclusion, maybe within the state of Kerala?
Thank you, ma'am. And the reason is, it has to be seen this way. Almost 20% of these kind of disputes are not even known to the outer world. Why? It is because the community mediators or the local people or people within the community try to resolve it in their own manner, which is acceptable to the parties over there. So they don't come out of it. Two, there are lots of reasons where Kerala, the people in Kerala are highly literate. They are legally literate because of certain projects, and therefore they would like to go for the best of the methods. They don't want their issues to be made public. They don't want to be spending money on these things. So they look forward to an alternative which is very, very confidential, out of record, and therefore it doesn't even come to a public documentation. That is where the parties try to resolve it within the local, the community level. And the best example would be, we have something called the Residents Association. So each of those areas have their Residents Association registered, larger body. Any of those residence issues, or whenever they are taken up, it is normally resolved within, like the tenant, the apart within that area. If there is an issue between a tenant and a landowner, all these are normally handled by the Residents Association, and people like it, love it. They don't even go to the court because they know that the courts will not be able to timely help them out. Similar is the case with church issues. Large issues are being resolved by mediators. They call mediators privately, not even on record from the courts, and they try to even get them, their own people, priests and all trained in these kind of matters. And what they do is they try to resolve it amicably between the parties because they know the pulse of the people. So each of these people try to resolve it within the, within the confidentiality level of their own community or institutions. Even political parties where there have been issues between the different factions. I know a case where a very, very efficient mediator has been called to resolve it, including government versus local bodies versus local people when it comes to constructions. All these, do happen. And this is how the docket explosion is reduced.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'd like to ask Sharad Kapoor, sir, how do you see litigation making scale up on community mediation, where communities are deeply involved in their own cultural ethos? How do you feel, sir, that litigation would be able to actually assuage their feelings or make a difference in their lives, or would be acceptable to somebody who is deeply involved in his own cultural ethos?
Ma'am, when the communities are being represented by individual interests, that's the time when the interest of the community is compromised. And when the interest of the individual is being compromised in a community, the sharing of the information at the time when the mediation process is going on is what explodes the litigation. That's where the advantages are taken. And their tendencies of the parties is to acquire the information in the process of the mediation, which otherwise is a very long drawn process in litigation, and then use it in the litigation, by virtue of which the litigation explodes. There are often instances where communities have gone into mediation with the aid and able assistance of the courts, but when they come back to the courts, they are more aggressive. And that's where I feel that the process of mediation as of now in India, because is facilitated and not evaluated, and that is the reason why the litigations will explode.
Right, sir, thank you. Dr. Rashmi from Team A, how do you think community mediation is going to bring about any kind of a change or establish harmony or peace in the tribal communities, especially where the level of literacy is low? How do you feel, madam?
Thank you, madam.
Yes.
I'm working in this area, and from last 6 years, what I find that if in this tribal region, if the illiteracies are there, exactly, but the faith, trust for the people of their own society is at their highest level. If they come, and thanks to the Jhalsa, they have gone for the total awareness among the tribal region. Now they started coming to the mediation center, and where different types of the mediators are there. Some are especially learn the law for the tribal region, and they help them. And the 90% of the tribal population goes to those persons. Like one of the PC Urao is there. He's working only for this tribal region. Laws are the same, whether they're Hindu or the Christian, they're independent law. And by looking all these things, now the Ranchi University is going to start a law, in LLM, tribal law, because 100% tribes goes to those persons who are the tribals, and they have trust on them. So what we think about the justice for all, we have to develop this type of the tribal law oriented mediators at the ground level, at the community, as the community mediator.
Right, ma'am. That was really very interesting. My question now to Varuna ma'am is, do you see any question of enforceability, any problems with enforceability, or do you feel that whether litigation offers a permanent solution over community mediation?
if from the perspective of community mediation, I would say enforceability is a problem. As when the settlement is arrived at, in community mediation, I'm not aware whether they go ahead and have a conciliation award. We do not have an independent way of enforcing any such settlement. But if we follow the mediation process and we draw a settlement, which is a conciliation award, then enforceability is not a problem. But it is because the parties do not have that kind of faith in a settlement. They feel that it is driven from some biases, and therefore it is not a fair settlement. So enforceability becomes difficult in a community mediation settlement. There is a possibility of difficulty.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, would anyone from Team A like to rebut what Varuna madam has said? Yes, Warrior sir, please go ahead.
I would rebut these arguments in two ways.
Right.
One is, not all mediated settlements, or when they arrive at consensus, it is not necessarily that they require an enforcement, an element of force for them to implement this. So half of them are not even necessarily to be documented. This is what I'm saying. This is from my experience. When within the community level, when we start mediating, or when the community volunteer mediates, if he is sufficiently trained, the result that we find is people understand and they decide even to withdraw from the whole issue. So they said, I'm perfectly fine, I agree with this, I don't have that, or they come out with some kind of an acceptable solution. And being people from the same group, they don't want to be fighting again and again. They would like to maintain that kind of a cordiality also. Therefore, there are a lot of situations where you don't have to go in for an enforcement. They implement it by themselves. So merely for the fact that some of the cases probably would end up not being enforced, is no reason to say that mediation, community mediation need not be attempted. One, and wherever it can be resolved this way, it is perfect that we exploit that situation. And one more point, Varuna ma'am, not all situations are so complex. They are so simple, some of them. And if, according to me, what I believe is if person can go home and sleep for 1 month without any stress or tension, even that is also a resolution to a dispute. To that extent, if you can save them, probably the time itself would solve the whole issue. As regards Sharath sir, sorry, I'm sorry. Yes, I'll.
Please go ahead. So that was very interesting.
As regards Sharath sir, the mechanism, etc. Now, from our experience in Kerala, I would like to point out one thing. There were 4 batches of community mediators who were, recruited and they were trained. So none of those regular court lawyer mediator goes to their area. And these people were trained in mediation. Of course, they were not certified as mediators, but they were given about 30 hours of training. And they tried to find out, they identified so fast for the reason that it is within their vicinity that these things crop up. So they understand that here is a situation for me to interfere, not interfere, intervene, and try to solve it at that level. People have been doing this. So we call people from residents associations, different volunteers. We call them from including religious sects. So we had people from one sect of the Islam, the Muslims, the other sect of the Muslims, where there have been a lot of issues. You must have been seeing it from the papers. There are lots of conflicts among them. So we took each one of them as volunteers. We also had people who are outside the community. We had people, volunteers from every parish. Parish is a small group within a particular church. So there will be lots of families, diverse issues, other issues. And we train these people. So the priest or the volunteer who apparently does not have an affiliation, suspectable affiliation, were sent by the parish, who are acceptable. So there were lots of volunteers who were trained and they were doing a wonderful job. So they're having results. Thank you, ma'am. I believe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That was a lot. Really, all the various elements and the various parameters put across by Varuna. Now, would we have Sharath Kapoor, sir? Would you like to say anything on any of the inputs which Dr. Rashmi or Srilal Waria has given?
Yes, ma'am. I would just like to say it in a very short sentence that mediation is only a pound. And the moment it explodes, it becomes a absolute, uncontrollable, weighty episode that in communities, mediations is just not conditioned in India at this moment. That is all I can say. Because the mediation is just an ounce and the litigation can go beyond pounds. So that's all I can say, that the conditioning in India is not, as of now, that community mediations can really become a reality as of now.
Dr. Rashmi, would you like to say anything on what Team B has said?
Yes, I have to say that whatever they have said about the community mediation is a fiction, is not true. It's a fact. Either we see in the Kerala, the 100% literate state, or we see in the tribal region of the Jharkhand, there's the 27% of the tribals are there and only 42% they are literate. But still what we find in Kerala, so many systems are going on, like for the community mediation, people gather together, they solve their problems and they go away. Even for the big things, for the 100 crores of the project here in Ranchi, we have done for the mediation, successful mediation. And even in the Delhi, whatever you say, the modern, the poor, illiterate, literate, ultimately what we find, first of all, the people wanted to go for their own society to solve their disputes, conflicts. And after that, if that fails, then only they go to the upper region. So why not we make the base, the root so strong so that we cannot spend our time, our money, our labor, our age. This is my views about the community mediation. Thanks to all.
Thank you, ma'am. You have supported your own views again. And Varuna, ma'am, would you like to say something for or against the motion?
What Rashmi ma'am and Srilal Waria sir just said is what I said earlier, that if the community mediation is restricted to a tribal area or a particular community like Christians, or then it is very successful because they are coming from the same background, and it can be it is easier to settle because they have similarity of thought and they have faith in it. So to bring in faith in other regions and not in community mediation, people look at the law. We are used to looking at a decree of the court which crystallizes our rights. So to say that community mediation is the way forward, no doubt. But we need to have those awareness programs. It has to be a lifestyle change where we have faith in a mediation process which takes us to a settlement. That is how it has been from indigenous times, where people believed in simplicity and avoiding conflict and not having conflict and not going to the courts or to the man-made laws. Unless we take it back to the indigenous times and bring in the simplicity in our thought process, we cannot have community mediation as it has been projected just now. That is what my views are.
Thank you, ma'am. It was wonderful, both team A and B. They have led us to the various intricacies of the mindset of people in different communities, maybe in different climates, in different areas of survival. Maybe somebody in a more literate place like Kerala, and someone in the tribal areas of Jharkhand, or maybe a person in Delhi. The views expressed by both of you have backed it up with sound reasoning. From Team A, they have expressed that community mediation is a part of the cultural ethos of communities, and it is they who decide what is their want. They don't want a third person to superimpose their views on them. For that reason, they do not need documentation. The question of enforceability also does not arise because it is their decision. So they accept it with open arms. And as Team A has said, it's doing wonderfully well in their wherever they have seen it being practiced. From Team B, you have expressed your apprehensions with regard to its present applicability in areas where you feel that there may be a question of bias, where there may be a question of unequal power equation. It also appears that some of you feel that we are not yet ripe, we are not yet mentally mature enough to accept it with all its apprehensions of being biased, of being prejudiced, of being compromised of neutrality, whereas neutrality is the one essential component of a mediation process. Nevertheless, these are very important thoughts, and law, like life and water, it connects everyone. But as we move along, I'm sure we can have space for such kind of discussions to understand what works where. But between all of this, the one concept which everybody believes in, mediation and its beautiful concepts, how it may be implemented, it is different. What would be the need of the persons in a particular area, in a particular passage of time, in a particular evolutionary cycle? It may change from time to time. But nevertheless, mediation is an idea whose time has come, and this has been a beautiful platform to share divergent views and to be able to buttress it with your own arguments. Thank you, Team A and Team B. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. On behalf of Team Ambassadors of Mediation and Madhyam International Council for Dispute Resolution, want to thank you immensely for taking out time from your busy schedule to be our guest of honor today. And it has been a wonderful session. Thank you to all the participants, respectively, starting with Team A, Dr. Rashmi, Mr. Warrior, and Team B, Ms. Varna Pandari, and Mr. Sharad Kapoor. Thank you so much for enriching us with all your divergent thoughts and views. And indeed, a very, very interesting debate, I would say. Thank you.